my loves, what's up, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading, and this one is all about the future in your love life. So what is going to happen in your love life in the future, whether you are single or in a relationship. We're going to try to get as much information as possible in today's readings. So with that being said, if you are new to pick a card readings, I'm going to give you a quick little rundown of how they work. So over here we have pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can take a moment and pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing your pile, you can then scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that is linked to your specific card, and then you can skip ahead and watch your personal reading all about your future love life. I also want to say we got some new jewelry in the shop that I'm super excited about. We have this Larimar, which is actually pretty rare stone, and it's so beautiful. It's from the Caribbean. It's actually only found in Dominican Republic, and it's so beautiful. So we have 2 different types of bracelets. We have a Larimar ring. We have other rings. We restocked these Eclipse rings, but we only have a limited quantity. So if you do want them, definitely go check it out if you are interested. If not, that is totally okay. But I just wanted to mention that for those of you that are interested. But yeah, with that being said, again, take a moment to find the pile that you're the most drawn towards. We do already have crystals on them. And yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into today's video. All right, so group number 1, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading, so let's hop right into it. All right, so group 1, your love life. We have getting to know each other. Let's see what else we get for you. Group 1, love life for group 1. Make the effort. Okay. Release your ex. You deserve love. Ooh, this is interesting. We're going to go ahead and get some tarot cards on this really quick before getting into what this means, but we can already see kind of a little story coming together here. Release your ex. You deserve love. Like, some of you might still be caught up on your ex. You might still be thinking about a past relationship, wondering like, should I go back to that? Was that the person for me? Or maybe you're still kind of stuck on an ex right now. But it might be worth the effort and knowing like, hey, you deserve some love. But with that being said, before we actually get fully into this, let's go ahead and get some tarot cards on here. Group 1's love life. Group 1's love life. Ooh. Let's see if we can get some more, maybe 1 or 2 more here. Spirit, what do you have to say about group 1's love life? I'm feeling this one. Ooh, Hangman being reversed. Okay. All right, so group 1, what I'm getting for you is that there is something in your life, your love life might feel a little bit flipped upside down right now, which is why we kind of have this 4 of Wands being reversed here. There's something here where, you know, something's not working out the way that we thought. Our foundation doesn't feel as stable as maybe it once did, or we kind of feel like there isn't really a foundation in our love life right now. Maybe we're just feeling like it hasn't been established. Like when the 4 of Wands is reversed, I'm hearing like not established. Something's not established. Maybe we're not getting the commitment that we want. Or maybe like, I don't know, it's just, we don't even maybe have a love life right now. Maybe it just feels like there's nothing there. There's nothing like tangible quite yet. But that's all gonna kind of change because we have a whole storyline coming out over here that I'm excited to talk about. But one of the big things that I'm sort of picking up on here, just because we have the Release Your Ex card, is maybe we've kind of experienced some hurt or some cheating in the past or some dishonesty or just something that wasn't, maybe we just didn't get the commitment that we were wanting and we're still kind of stuck on somebody that maybe isn't giving us what we actually want or deserve. And so one of the things that Spirit really wants you to know is like, hey, you really deserve love. And I think that that's something that you're becoming more and more aware of as time goes on. I think you're starting to realize like, hey, I deserve someone who's going to give me something equal, right? And we're going to get into more of that in a second because we do have this 6 of coins here, which shows like you really deserve something that's going to be equal give and take rather than just giving or just taking, right? Because I think in the past you've experienced some imbalance here, and maybe even currently you're experiencing a little bit of imbalance, and maybe you have your eyes like set on something or set on something that you desire, but we're still kind of feeling like there's a little bit of resistance, or there's not the right foundation, or we're not getting the commitment that we're wanting, or we're not getting like the feeling of security that we're wanting, but yet we have like a desire that we're definitely shooting for here. And this is something where I think that more things are going to start happening, basically. We have this 5 of Pentacles being reversed, and this can be when we feel like we've been sort of like left out, or we've been even leaving ourselves out, not really giving ourselves what we want and deserve, or we constantly feel like there's been this back and forth, like 1 minute we're out, 1 minute we're in, we're not really sure where we stand here, we're not really sure like, do I go in this direction? Do I not go in this direction? I feel like this kind of like gives me a vibe of being a little bit lost, confused within your love life in the current moment. So these 3 represent the current moment, and these 3 are going to be representative of your future. So also in the current moment, we might feel like we've been tiptoeing around something. Maybe we're scared of our current feelings or thoughts, or other people are currently scared of their feelings or thoughts, and we maybe just feel like there's been avoidance. Like this card to me says avoidance, and we haven't been maybe expressing our true thoughts. Like there's been maybe a repression of our thoughts, or maybe we're keeping our thoughts to ourselves and avoiding something, or maybe we're like in denial of certain thoughts. We're like, how can I just like work my way around this and sort of get what I want? This is a card of a little bit of manipulation. So maybe possibly like other people have been sort of manipulative to us in our past, or maybe even we have been like withholding our true thoughts and feelings, and we haven't been honest with ourselves. I'm also hearing like not being honest with ourselves and needing to maybe stick to our word a little bit more. Maybe it's like other people or us that need to stick to our word more, because we don't have a solid foundation. We keep trying to create a solid foundation, but every time we go back on something that we're saying, every time we go back on like a commitment that we make towards ourselves, we end up going back on it. So what I keep kind of hearing is that there's possibly been somebody in your life that you keep telling yourself like, I'm going to finally set the proper foundation for myself. I'm going to go in the right direction, and say like you cut them out of your life, whatever. There's an energy here where we keep going back on our word. We keep like breaking our promises to ourselves. Or we're like, you know what? I know what I want. For example, you might know what you want and what you deserve, but we keep going back on that. We keep like not giving ourselves that. We keep letting it go because we're trying to get to a particular goal. Maybe you have somebody in mind that you really, really want, but you know, like you keep saying like, oh, I'm not going to settle for someone who's like this. I'm not going to settle for someone who's like that. But then all of a sudden we find ourselves doing that exact thing, right? And so what I'm seeing over here is there's been this sort of like, oh, I'll let that slide. I'll let that slide, right? Like the 7 of Wands is like letting certain things slide and being like, well, you know, I know I said that I wasn't going to go for that because I know I deserve better, but like, I'm just going to like forget that happened. I'm just going to let it slide. But this is like letting somebody get away, right? With not giving us what we want or deserve. There's something here where we know what we deserve, but we haven't been making the actual effort to really commit to what we want and deserve, you know, and that's why this is currently in our current moment being reversed, right? We could have beautiful commitment and a solid foundation, but part of ourselves keeps going back on our own promises. Okay? So what I see coming in the future of your love life is realizing like, hey, I need like more equal give and take. Like the 6 of Pentacles is where we find equal balance of giving and taking, right? But I feel like we've been settling for breadcrumbs. Like, look at this card. Okay, so some of you guys have been literally settling for breadcrumbs. But we don't need to do that to ourselves, right? We know that we deserve better, and even Spirit is coming through like, hey, we need to aim ourselves towards what we know we deserve, and we need to stop going back on our word and letting certain things slide. Because certain things have been sliding, group one. Certain things have been sliding. We need to really make the effort, and yes, it's gonna take some effort to release somebody or to release, something that we're stuck on. It's gonna take some effort to maybe get ourselves there. But dang, it's gonna be worth it. Do we really wanna settle for breadcrumbs in our love life? No. No, if you're hungry, are you gonna settle for breadcrumbs when somebody's holding the entire loaf? No, like relationships and love are supposed to be equal, And this is also partly about you needing to fill up your own cup rather than seeking it from other people. Because when we have our own cup fulfilled, we're gonna know more of what we deserve, and we're not gonna settle for breadcrumbs. Like when we're super hungry and we're starving and we're not feeling fulfilled, of course breadcrumbs are going to feel like they are our entire lifeline. We're obviously gonna feel like, yes, these breadcrumbs, they're amazing. They're the best thing I've ever had. But when we really focus on filling our own cup and we satisfy ourselves and we go make our own bread and we're already fulfilled, if somebody's offering us breadcrumbs, we're gonna be like, F no, I don't want your breadcrumbs. Go give somebody else your breadcrumbs. Like, nobody wants your breadcrumbs. We're only going to go for people that give us the entire loaf. You know what I mean? We're like, I'm already satisfied. I already have my full loaf, and I only want other people that have a full loaf too, so we can like share our loaves together, because I'm like a rosemary loaf and he's like a sesame loaf, and we can just have fun sharing each other's amazing fulfillment. You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna wanna give our loaf up for breadcrumbs. So I keep hearing a huge message from Spirit to make the effort to go in the direction that you want, to make your own loaf, baby. Become a loaf. It's time to really fulfill yourself to where breadcrumbs don't feel like a blessing. These breadcrumbs don't need to feel like a blessing. And I can tell you that as you begin going in this new direction, also it's interesting you chose citrine, and citrine is all about self-worth, by the way, and confidence and prosperity and abundance. It's not breadcrumbs. Citrine is the opposite of breadcrumbs, and you chose citrine. You're obviously drawn to it. You're drawn to that energy, which is the energy of abundance. You're drawn towards, spirit, your soul is seeking to feel more abundant. So it is time, my love, to make the effort for yourself and really start to see people how they are, getting to know each other, really starting to see people for who they are. Are they giving you breadcrumbs, or are they giving you the whole loaf? And it's also like, hey, we need to also show up for a whole loaf too. We can't be giving people breadcrumbs either. So let's seek out people who are entire loaves, and let's also be the entire loaf ourselves so that we can have balance. Like, those scales represent balance. We don't want that imbalance, nor do we want to trade breadcrumbs for breadcrumbs, because we're just going to be starving and begging each other for more and more breadcrumbs all the time, and we don't have anything to give. All we have is breadcrumbs. So if we're settling for somebody with breadcrumbs and we only have breadcrumbs, or if it's imbalanced and we have a loaf, it's either way, bad time, right? And I'm sure you guys get the point. The 10 of Cups is one of the best cards in all of tarot. It is the whole loaf. This is the harvest. This is when we harvest all the wheat and we have the full loaf, okay? And this is a really funny example that I'm using in this reading, but we're rolling with it. This card signifies receiving anything and everything that we've ever wanted and having full fulfillment. And I see you finally realizing what you deserve, leaving behind whatever you're currently hung up on, because currently we're hung up on something, or we've been constantly attracting the same scenario where we keep settling for less. We need to finally shoot for what we know we actually deserve, and we also need to realize that we are worthy of that. And the way that you're going to realize that you're worthy of that is because I see you finally finding your own fulfillment, making your own fulfillment, making your own happiness rather than seeking breadcrumbs from other people. This is when we start to literally bake and harvest our own happiness. We need to harvest it for ourselves. And I see you doing that because the future of your love life is the 10 of Cups. We have this in the future here. And all of this is happening because we're shooting our shot towards our own happiness and we're realizing what we really deserve, and we're not aiming for anything less than. She's not aiming for anything less than what she deserves. And this is also about making the effort. Yes, it's going to take some effort to do this, but way worth it. I'm hearing like the words of like, so worth it. If you're starving and you know that you can go out and make literally as much bread as you want, but in order to do that, we have to start saying no to the current person who's been giving us breadcrumbs. We have to say no to that and, go on a bit of a journey so that we can find the field of wheat where all of a sudden we can make our own and we can make as much as we want. And we don't need to live our life starving and getting such small little satisfactions. That is what is happening in your love life, group 1. Yes, gonna take a little bit of effort. I also think that you're gonna start to value getting to know somebody on a deep level, and you're gonna start seeing your exes and the people that you used to go for, and it's gonna blow your mind that you ever went there. Because once you start making your own bread and you reach this 10 of Cups, all of this is just gonna be like, what was I doing? Why did I think that was satisfying? You're gonna realize how unsatisfying breadcrumbs were because we haven't had that whole loaf yet. So, you're gonna start making it for yourself and realizing what you deserve. And the 10 of Cups is also a symbol that we are going to find someone who's equal to us too. Someone who actually makes the effort. Someone who actually is equal to us. Somebody on our level who genuinely makes the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So it's time for us to actually say no. And you've been feeling it deep down inside that like we need to create a new foundation. We need to let go of this blank foundation that we've been seeing as a possible foundation. Like, does this look like a foundation to you? No. But this does. And you've been feeling it. You've been feeling like you want to make this promise to yourself. So let's actually do it, because once you do it, my gosh, the future of your love life is going to change so drastically. We also have the Hangman being reversed, which is such a great card to have coming up reversed, because this symbolizes that we were once stuck on an ex, stuck on the past, stuck on settling for breadcrumbs. We're just stuck in general. It's like our love life was not moving forward. But guess what? That is all about to shift for you. You're literally about to go in a brand new direction where you really realize your worth. You step up that confidence. All of a sudden, the right person is absolutely going to come into your life. Like 10 of Cups is soulmate energy, and not toxic soulmate energy. Like this is like twin flame, but not in the toxic way. A lot of online videos or articles that you can read about twin flames are very toxic. Twin flames are not toxic. Twin flames are not supposed to have a toxic relationship where one is like chasing after the other and it's like bad. That is a karmic relationship. The 10 of Cups is not a karmic relationship. This is when the actual right person comes to our lives that is actually a perfect balance for us. That's what a twin flame is supposed to be. They're supposed to enhance each other, not tear each other down, not have toxic traits. That is a karmic relationship, and I just want to make that clear. Maybe I'll make a video about that one day. But anyway, the Hangman being reversed means that all of a sudden we're going to have a huge shift in perspective and things are going to start moving forward, and we're no longer going to see love or people the same way. We're all of a sudden going to see what we want, what we deserve. I think that your type and what you're attracted to is going to be different, and you're literally going to be looking back on your past in times that you do. I don't think you're constantly going to be looking in the past, but for example, like when you think about your past as your future self, you're going to be looking at, you know, what you used to be attracted to, and it's going to literally blow your mind, and you're not going to understand, because you're not going to even have that same attraction to those people or scenarios at all. At all. In fact, you're probably going to look at that and be like, huh? Like, what? It doesn't even make sense to me anymore, you know, because you're going to have such a different perspective, such a different point of view. And all of a sudden you're going to be attracted to people that give you this. Because before, your perspective might have been like, oh, all men or all women are the same, or whatever, because you've only experienced what you used to be attracted to. You used to be attracted to the people that brought you this scenario. But that's because that's what you were drawing in, because it was like a lesson. It was part of, you know, your karma of learning what you really deserve, and learning like, hey, breadcrumbs aren't actually valuable. You know, they're valuable when you're starving, but they're not valuable when you're full and fulfilled. You're going to become full and fulfilled, and you're going to be looking at like old breadcrumbs and be like, that literally is nothing to me. There's no value in that, you know, and you are going to start to see what you deserve, and all of a sudden you're going to be attracted to what you really deserve, and that's going to be an attracting thing for you, and it's going to bring you literally the person of your dreams, which I want to find out more about this person. So, you know, let's get some more cards on here. Let's start by shuffling. Let's just shuffle these ones. I'm feeling like shuffling these ones. So Spirit, let's get some more messages for group number 1. Let's see some more messages for group 1. We have the heartbreak. So yes, we're going to be going through a little bit of feeling like we're missing a piece of ourselves, because we're going to have to let go of something. So you see how it's only half of a heart? We might feel like really torn up over what we're letting go of, but holy dang, is it going to make room for the right thing? Because when we're still hanging on to old stuff, we still have that like other part being filled, even though it's being filled with breadcrumbs, but like it's still being filled, you know? It's kind of like putting a big Band-Aid on like a huge wound or something, but it's just like, you know, it helps, but it's not like gonna cure it. But in order to cure it, we're gonna need to rip off that Band-Aid, rip it off like a Band-Aid, and let it heal, so that we can actually make room to welcome in what we really deserve. So I definitely see that happening. I also see you guys also taking off your heartbreak. See how this is a necklace? That's also really sticking out to me. It's almost like you guys can take off your heartbreak. And you will be taking it off. It's actually going to eventually feel really easy to let go of this. At first, it's going to feel hard, because it's going to feel like a heartbreak, right? All heartbreaks start off like that. But I also see this eventually getting so easy to where it feels like just something you are wearing, and you can just easily take it off. So yeah, it's going to eventually be like that too. So let's see what else we get for group 1. Ooh, there's a card that fell on the floor. Let's go see what that is. I'm always doing these readings at my table again, and or actually it's like a counter, but anyway. Okay. Yeah, sometimes the cards like to fall on the floor. We have the card Open Up. It is time for us to open up our hearts. I think after this healing, that's going to be when it feels better to like open up again. And also I think that maybe we've been shutting down our emotions a little bit here. We've been like closing ourselves off out of being scared to get hurt, but you won't have to do that anymore once you actually fill up your own cup, and it's going to change your whole view of how you view the world. You're not going to attract bad people to you anymore. You're not going to attract toxic karmic relationships to you anymore once you let go and heal this. Like, you're literally not. It's not even going to be something that you would even have to worry about, because all of a sudden you'll be able to see it. You'll literally be able to see it. It's almost like you could smell it from a mile away. And even if you feel like you can't right now and you're like, well, I thought that he was going to be different, I didn't see that. Trust me, once you actually start making your own bread, and I don't mean that in the money sense, but I mean that in the fulfillment sense. Like, once you start really fulfilling yourself without seeking breadcrumbs from other people, this is literally making your own bread to fulfill yourself, doing what makes you feel so happy, group number 1, it is going to shift you in such a big way. And you are going to be doing this. You are headed in this direction. So don't even worry about it. Don't wonder like, oh, how do I do this? You're headed in this direction. This is part of your future. You are headed in this direction of healing. You are headed in this direction of opening up and realizing what you are really worth and making your own fulfillment. And the aftermath of that is literally like, you're not going to see people the same way again. You're going to understand very deep things about people because you're going to be going through some deep healing yourself. Ooh, and then we have the card of gifts. All of a sudden, there's surprises coming for you, group one. There is surprises coming for you. Once you go through this, it's like the universe is giving you gifts. And there's also like a gift waiting for you. It's like you open up this new door. You're going to be opening up a new door because you're closing out this old door and literally removing it and throwing it away. There's going to be a new door to open up, and behind it awaits you what you've been wanting, what you've really been wanting. This is time to give yourself what you deserve, not seek it from anyone else. And once you do that, you will literally attract your soulmate, the perfect person for you. Let's see what else we get here. Let's go ahead and shuffle this deck of cards. What else do we have for group one? Moonlight. Ooh, it might feel like stepping into the unknown right now, and it might feel a little bit scary because we're like, we don't know what our future is going to hold, especially with like letting go of certain things. Maybe we're not going to know what our future holds, and we're wondering like, what if this is a mistake? What if I never find something? You know, it feels like stepping into the unknown. When we let go of certain things, it can be scary because we're like, we have nothing now. We have an empty space, and that's scary. But Spirit right now wants you to know that this is the right path because you deserve love. You deserve so much better than breadcrumbs, right? You cannot survive off breadcrumbs. You'll never find happiness and fulfillment and a satisfied belly out of breadcrumbs. You're not going to have a satisfied heart from breadcrumbs of love. It will never happen. So, the universe is urging you to follow that inkling that you have inside of you that knows you're supposed to let go of this. You're supposed to let go of all of this. You're supposed to let go of breadcrumbs. And I mean, let it go. Don't try to change it. You can't change breadcrumbs. Anytime I've tried to take a breadcrumb and change it into a full loaf, it will never work. You can't do it. We need more wheat. And if something does not have the wheat, we cannot make more bread. So we cannot change it. Don't try to change breadcrumbs into bread. It's not going to happen. So everyone has to go make their own bread. So we're not waiting around for other people. We're not trying to like, you know, it's time to release and go in the direction that we desire to go in, because it is going to bring you literal happiness. But first it comes through creating it on your own. That way we don't have this imbalanced scenario anymore. When you have two fulfilled things, that's when balance occurs. That's when Ten of Cups occurs, which is like one of the best cards in tarot. So, yeah. The Moonlight. It's scary to walk into the unknown, but it is so worth it. With that being said, I want to take one last deck really quick. Hold on. Maybe two last decks, we'll see. Let's try this one really quick. What else do we have for group one? I'm feeling this one, and I'm also feeling this one. Ooh, yes, okay. Oh, and of course more falling to the floor. Anyway. Vulnerability. Open your heart, allow yourself to be tender. We have the open up and the open up. That's confirmation that it is time for us to really begin to open our heart so that we can build up our heart and fulfill ourselves, and that we can start to hear what it is our heart is yearning for, what our heart is desiring. This is longing for someone, undesired separation, pinning. So we might feel like we're kind of separate for love right now, and we're like, I didn't want this. Why does this keep happening? We might be longing for connection. We're longing for somebody, but it's time to release our ex, because it's not going to come through that. It's not going to come through people that you've already known. This is new. The Ten of Cups is something new that we haven't experienced before, and it's going to come once we start opening ourselves up, fulfilling ourselves, and going for what we know that we really, really deserve and not settling for less. So that's where it's going to come from. That's where it's going to stem from. And this is going to be fulfilled for you. And I'm hearing 1 year from now. I keep hearing 1 year from now. I know this is a general reading, so for each of you listening to this, it could be slightly different. It could be, you know, a little bit sooner than 1 year from now. For some of you, it might be like 6 months from now. Some of you guys, it might be a year and 3 months from now. But it's somewhere on average for each of you listening to this, somewhere around a year from now, which years fly by really fast, okay? Like, we're already like almost halfway through the year, or I guess like 1/4 way through the year, because we're like going into April. This year's gone by so fast. It feels like it was just New Year's like 2 days ago. So years go by fast. So if you're hearing a year and you're like, oh my God, that's so long from now, this is what's required to heal, to build your own fulfillment. And the quicker you build your own fulfillment, the quicker that this is going to come to you, the quicker that you are going to actually bring in your soulmate. So work on making yourself so happy and detoxing and releasing the things that you know deep down inside are not good for you. And you keep telling yourself, like, I'm going to let it go, I'm going to let it go. Keep your promises. If you promise yourself something, start to keep your promises. Become a reliable person and keep your promises to yourself, because you deserve that. You deserve nothing less than what your heart truly, 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 truly desires. And you know, it's not going to come through through the breadcrumbs. So that is what we have going on over here. Group number 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it made sense for you. I hope it offered insight. You are definitely going to have your happy ending. And it's going to be beautiful, because again, 10 of Cups, one of the best cards in all of tarot. It is so, so, so fulfilling. So that is what is in your future, which is amazing. So group 1, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I would love to have you there. And I'm sending you so much love, and hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. All right, so group number 2, those of you who chose this pile, this is going to be a reading all about the future in your love life. So let's hop right into it. Okay, so my lovely group 2s, let's see what Spirit has to say for you and the future of your love life. Ooh, we have the King of Cups. That's a good card to start off with. Let's see what else we get. Group 2, what is happening for my group 2s in their love life? The World, the Moon. What else is happening for group 2? The Tower. And what is the last card that we have for my group 2s? It's a couple cards I wanted to come out there. It's too many, actually. Let's see. What is the last card? There we go. Okay. Couple last cards here. We have the Four of Wands and the High Priestess. Is there 2? No. Okay. So let's just place these. All right, so before we fully hop into this, we're also going to shuffle this deck just to get a couple more cards on here. So let's see. You Deserve Love. Wow, that one came up for group 1 too. Let's see, what else are we getting for group number 2? What is happening for group 2's love life? Getting to know. We had that one for group number 1 as well. Let's see. Playfulness. And what else do we have? Flirt. All right. So group number 2, when we start off with the King of Cups, the King of Cups symbolizes that we are reaching a new level of emotional maturity. I think that you lately have been very reflective on your past, and you're learning so much. Like, you're able to recognize where your past faults might have been. You're able to recognize maybe certain other observations that you make in other people's lives. You're learning from, watching others' experiences versus your own experience, and you're learning from your past experiences. And I think that you're reaching just a new place of emotional maturity. And I think that you're realizing that you have a new way of reacting to situations. You also have a new way of perceiving situations. Your intuition is also getting very high lately. And I think that, whenever we get a high intuition, we can also start getting guidance that might shift us in a new direction. And I think that you're still sitting very strong, even when like certain things are just kind of happening around you, and you're very good at just kind of like holding your own emotional space nowadays. We do also have the World card, and the World card always symbolizes the completion of a certain cycle in your life. So whatever old cycle that you had is ending, and you're sort of like stepping into a new era. We have the moon coming next out of that, which kind of signifies that you might not know exactly what the outcome is that's coming your way, but there's like these little seeds that are almost just like guiding you. It's like little intuitions that are sort of guiding you on this path. Although we don't really know exactly what the outcome is, we're unsure maybe our direction. Some of you might even be unsure about what you want. Others, I think, those of you watching it as a general reading, some of you might really know what you want, and others of you might be a little bit confused. But either way, I see this like leap of faith kind of energy happening in your love life. And maybe this is like what you've already done. Maybe you've already taken a leap of faith because you've had to like end a big chapter. What I'm gathering from those of you watching this reading is in the past, you've had to end a really big chapter of your life, and you've already kind of done that. Or you're maybe going through it right now, or this is something that's happened in the last like 1 or 2 years. You kind of ended a big cycle of your life, in your love life in particular. And it's sort of like you took a leap of faith into the unknown, and you're like, I don't know where I'm going in my love life, and I don't know what my love life is going to bring me, but I'm taking a big leap of faith. And I think this is something that you've already done. I think that this is something that happened like 1 to 2 years ago for most of you. And now you're kind of like in this new stage where the unknown has started to unfold in front of you. Some of you, again, might be going through this right now too. It is a general reading, so I just want to like make it as all-encompassing as possible, but there's definitely been a big thing that you had to let go of in love and complete that phase. And I think it was a hard decision, but it came from a place of emotional maturity, because you just knew like, I can't keep doing this same thing over and over again. So whatever decision that you made didn't come from a place of like hurt or shock. It was kind of like, we knew it was coming, and our emotions guided us there, and we just knew what was the right decision, even though we didn't know really, again, what our outcome was or how that was going to turn out. We also have the Tower card, so it's also making me feel like you've been through a lot. And I know I'm talking a lot about the past right now, and we're going to get into the future in a second, but for some reason, Spirit wanted to bring up some of the past in this reading. But the Tower card is symbolizing that it was like a huge leap of faith, where this decision to close out this chapter probably like ended a really big thing for you. The Tower card is kind of like when we've built something up a lot. So some of you might have ended like a very significant relationship a few years ago, like a couple years ago, or maybe are doing that right now. Again, it is a general reading. I want to be like very inclusive to all of you guys, but there was like a major ending that you guys were going through. And this is actually very significant to your future, because what the cards are saying is that your future in your love life is going to be very stable, because you've learned during this Tower moment, you've learned the mistakes. And that's why we started off with the King of Cups, because the reason why the Tower even happened for you, the reason why the destruction of your past happened, was because you literally transformed yourself, group number 2. You literally came to a place where you're like, you had so much emotional maturity and awareness on your situation that you were able to look at it and be like, I know that I built this thing wrong. I know that, or we or whatever, but you started looking at it, you could see the faults in the way that you built your previous relationships. You could all of a sudden understand them, and you had awareness, and you're like, okay, I can see that this is not really fixable at this point, and it's time to just complete this cycle so that we can both be for example. And you guys have done that. And it took a lot from your part, but yet you knew deep down inside, like, it was this gut feeling, like, I know that this is the right choice. And Spirit is confirming to you that yes, that was absolutely the right choice, because the Four of Wands right here is signifying that you're not going to have to experience that again. You're not going to have to experience the Tower again. And I think one of the biggest messages here is that you're not going to have to experience that kind of hardship ever again. And I think that Spirit wants to like bring that as a reassurance to you right now, for whatever reason. You know, maybe you're in a new relationship right now, for example, or you're seeking to find that, for example, but this isn't going to happen again because you have learned from your past mistakes not to build relationships the same way anymore. You now know what you want and what it takes to build a solid foundation with somebody. You have that awareness to know what that takes. You're not going to build a faulty structure anymore. You're not going to enter something that doesn't feel like it has a proper secure foundation anymore. You're not that same person. And because of that, group number 2, because of that, your future is very solid in your love life. We have that Four of Wands right here. Your future is very solid. And I think you know that deep down inside. We got this High Priestess. I think that you even recognize that within yourself, because you recognize like, hey, I'm not going for the same stuff anymore. There might still be some like hidden insecurities of like, oh, but I don't want to mess it up. Like, you know, what if misunderstandings happen, da 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 da. Sure, there's always going to be like certain other things that we have to work through. But what Spirit wants you to know is there's not going to be a major fault line that brings you back here. You're not coming back here to this Tower moment. You've learned so much. And you're building something solid that can last through storms, because you have that ability now. You have that awareness in you, and your intuition knows like and can sense what is going to work and what's not going to work, because you've had those past experiences and you're able to recognize them way more than before. So your future love life is going to be very stable, and I don't see another Tower moment for you. I don't see that happening. All I see is this beautiful building of this solid foundation that's secure, it's safe, it's reliable. I really think you're going to have a very reliable partner. I think the next person that you're going to be with, or, you know, if you're in a relationship right now, it feels very solid. It feels very secure. It feels reliable. It feels happy. It feels like something that's worth celebrating, because the Four of Wands also, talks about celebration, and it also talks about weddings and marriage. So some of you as well might be on the road to weddings and marriage, or something to very much celebrate, like the celebration of a commitment, right? Yeah, and I think that we have this playfulness card. I think that you are opening up and feeling more comfortable again, and you know how to move forward. You know not to rush into things. High Priestess does not rush into things. High Priestess knows deep down what she wants, and she feels things out, and she can feel from a mile away whether that's something that's going to work for her or not. And she keeps using her senses throughout to listen to her gut instinct. I think your intuition and your gut instinct, group 3, is very strong, or group number 2, sorry. I'm sorry if I keep saying group 3. For some reason I always associate Amethyst with group 3, but it's group 2 right now. But yeah. Anyway, group number 2. This is so much more solid. So much more, you're so much more solid, and your intuition is very strong. And it guides you. I think you're attracting something that's extremely playful, something that's fun, something where you feel free and open to be yourself, because the Four of Wands plus playfulness, this is where you feel like you can be yourself, where you can let your guard down and have fun because you have the proper boundaries, for example, because the fours signify boundaries, security, safety. We feel safe to be ourselves because we've set the proper boundaries, right? Like, it's almost like building a home. If it's on an unsteady foundation, of course we're going to be insecure and we're going to be very like uptight when we're walking through that home because we don't trust it, right? But when we build proper boundaries, you know, we set proper healthy boundaries with those who are around us, and we tell our expectations, that's like building that secure foundation and that secure wall. It's not a wall that keeps things out, but you know, it's like the boundary line that we have. We establish the boundary lines. And when we do it properly, we feel safe and secure to play within our home, within the establishment that we've made, right? So that's kind of like what you are doing and what is going to continue to happen for you in your love life. And because of that, there's so much playfulness, and now you know what you want. You're able to shoot your arrow directly at what you want. You have clarity on what you want. You can see she's very clear, aiming for exactly what she wants. So you're gonna know what you want, and you know that you deserve love, and you're no longer going to settle for anything less. You're no longer going to settle for something that's false, that's going to crack down the line, you know? And then we also have getting to know each other. You're also somebody who now is not going to rush into things. You understand that you really want to get to know somebody and to create that solid foundation. When we rush into something, it's like rushing to build a house. You know, it's obviously not going to be very sturdy when we build a house in 1 week versus if we take 6 months to build it. Like, it's going to be very different. The quality structure is going to be very different. So yeah, now we have the getting to know each other. And I'm not saying like 6 months is good enough. You have to really like gauge things out for your own, which I'm sure you know. We also have the flirt card here, which shows that there's going to be, I think, fun romantic times in your future, and more fun romance is coming, even if you're already in a relationship. I just see more playfulness, more flirtation, more getting to know each other, more aiming for what you want, more talks about what both of you desire, the trajectory that you're going to go in, that you desire to go in. I also see you two opening up so much more too, because the High Priestess, she doesn't let just anybody into her garden, you know. She's kind of the card of secrets and intuition and concealing, but not out of like a bad way. It's like concealing because, you know, we don't let anybody into us, right? And so this card, but next to the Four of Wands, makes me feel like there's going to be more opening up in your future, where you're opening up your heart more. But now you know that you only want to open it up for the right people. You only want to open it up for the right person. And the more that you're establishing this foundation, which there's more that's going to be established in your love life soon, there's going to be more opening up and more talks about the direction that you both are going in. And if you're single again, it's just, this is what's to come, right? This is what's coming next in your love life, is these sort of scenarios. Something that's much more solid, where we feel like we can open up and we don't feel scared anymore, and we feel like good things are coming. And again, this card does signify celebrations, like there's going to be something to celebrate in your love life, a new foundation being set. Sometimes this talks about like making a permanent home. So maybe there's a permanent home, maybe there's some sort of commitment that is coming your way. So that is what we have there. The next few cards that we have for you, group number 2, let's see what we get here. Group number 2, what is happening next? Control. Sorry guys, my battery died there and I had to change it, and we got like farther in the reading before I even realized that my battery died, but we are back. We have some cards that I pulled that we're gonna pull out in a second, but I didn't realize that my camera wasn't on anymore. But anyway, so the control card here basically is what I'm getting from it, like something that I keep hearing from it, is self-restraint. And it's reminding me a little bit of the High Priestess, because the High Priestess like holds herself back a little bit, and she keeps herself a little bit more secretive. She keeps things to herself, right? And this control card is making me feel not like we're trying to manipulate or control others or the situation, but it feels like self-restraint. It feels like we're trying to control ourselves and our urges. Like some of you might be really interested in somebody, some of you might be in a relationship, and part of you wants to just like jump right into it and like give it your all and things like that. But maybe we're realizing like, hey, I don't want to come on too strong, because the High Priestess is really good at concealing her thoughts and her emotions. And so maybe part of ourselves have been concealing that, or your partner or somebody has been concealing that from you. So just because it's a general reading, I'm going to point out all the different options, but this can mean that somebody has been practicing self-restraint around you, vice versa, or maybe both of the people involved in this reading have been like practicing, you know, self-restraint and not wanting to like express everything right off the bat. Again, I think that, you know, because we've been through so much in the past, and maybe the person we're interested in has as well. If we're single, then maybe this is, you know, just our own like control of, you know, not wanting to rush into things, stuff like that. But because of like what we've experienced in the past, we're not wanting to rush into something, even though maybe our heart is wanting to like, you know, shoot our shot and like go for it. This can also be like, if you're single and you don't have somebody that you are thinking of, this can also mean that somebody else is already thinking about us, but they've been using a lot of self-control, maybe thinking like, well, they recently just went through a big thing, I don't want to like let off all my feelings right away. But I think somebody's really thinking about you, and they're not wanting to open up everything right away. They're not wanting to like, like they're not wanting to be vulnerable quite yet. They're practicing self-control, and this could also be you practicing self-control in some ways too. But I do think that there's more that's gonna like come out, because we have this getting to know each other card and this playfulness. I almost see like this sort of playful energy around sort of expressing what it is that you desire, but in a playful way. And this could also be, you know, the other person expressing what they desire, but in a playful, like joking way. Like they might joke about it, for example. This person might just be like, oh, like, yeah, totally, like, let's go get married right now, ha ha ha, you know? Or like, you know, just, I don't know, jokes about the future of like, I don't know, like seeing a pretty house, and then it's like, oh, you know, you want to move into it? It's like these little like playful jokes, you know? I'm seeing some playful jokes happening, but it's also this sort of energy that there's some self-restraint here, either from you or from another person, where, yeah, we're just kind of like having fun with it right now, and we're not wanting to like come on too strong, but there is some like strong feelings that we're maybe trying to like control. We're trying to control our urges. We're trying to control our strong feelings. And again, this could be coming from you, this could be coming from somebody else, or both. Okay. The next card that we pulled here was the card of mystery, which makes me feel like somebody is still not being fully, this could be us not being fully open, right? This could be us keeping the mystery alive. This could be somebody else keeping the mystery alive. Again, it could be both of us too, kind of like, you know, not wanting to, again, show all of our feelings. And that's why we have the masquerade mask, because we're not really wanting to reveal every single thing that we're thinking. But I do think that this is going to come out more and more. And I do think it's going to come out in a playful, flirty way. And like, clearly there's intentions here. There's intentions and direction that I think we want to go in, because the arrow symbolizes that. We're very clear on what it is that we want. We feel like we know exactly where we're going, but we're almost scared to like fully open up about it. So it's coming out in a playful way. Okay, so then the next cards that we pulled, we have the card here of movement, which makes me feel that there will be more like movement finally happening for you guys. Let me brighten up this camera too. It's getting really pretty dark in here. So this movement card is definitely making me feel like there's going to finally be some movement, especially if things have been stagnant and they've been remaining kind of like, you know, fun and playful and innocent and things like that. I think things are going to slowly start moving, especially if there's been like control and mystery. Like things are going to start moving. We're all of a sudden going to hear what these other intentions were from this other person. And I think that we're finally going to start moving forward too, and opening ourselves up in more ways as well. So it's kind of like a two-way sort of street here that's kind of unfolding. The next card that we had was deep freeze. So it's kind of like movement after the deep freeze. You know, it's kind of like things are finally starting to move again when they were like frozen, they were paused, or maybe we've kept some of our emotions frozen, right? Because ice comes from water, and water is our emotions. It's representative of our emotions. So this can be that our emotions have been like a little bit frozen, a little bit under our control, remaining a little bit of a mystery. But I really see like, I don't know, like emotions being expressed. And again, it could be from your part, it could be from another person's part, or both. but there is emotions that will be spoken about. And I do think for most of you, this is going to happen within, let's say, like the next 4-ish months from whenever you're watching this. Wands can symbolize weeks or months, and for some reason I'm getting like more of like 4-ish months. Some of you it might be like 4 weeks from now, but yeah, seeing it happening like decently soon. It's like more things are like moving forward. More things are opening up, things like that. The next card that we pulled out is Come Together. So yeah, definitely like feelings are being thawed out. There's movement. There's more opening up, less control, more revealing out of the mystery. Because we're definitely not fully aware of like the depth of certain emotions, either on our part or from the person that we're like interested in, or again, if we're single, it could be a person who hasn't fully revealed their feelings for us yet. But I do see this, you know, coming together, deeper commitment. The Four of Wands is deeper commitment. It can also symbolize like engagements, again, moving in, or just setting a solid, you know, foundation for a relationship, like committing to each other and things like that. So that's also what this card is. So there's lots of stuff here that just symbolizes emotions being let out. And because of that, there's a deeper connection being made. And we're finally like starting to reveal our true desires. We're not leaving them be just mystery and hidden stuff that we need to like uncover. There's definitely uncovering mystery energy right here for group number 2. So yes, that is what we have going on for you in the future of your love life, group 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it made sense to your particular situation, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. So lots of movement coming your way. And again, yes, hope you enjoyed it. Sending you all of my love. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye! All right, so group number 3, if you chose this beautiful pile with this gorgeous crystal. Oh my God, look at this. This is one of my favorite crystals of all time. It's this Angel Aura Crackle Quartz. Look at this, it's like rainbows. Anyway, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading on your future love life. So let's hop right into it. Okay, so group 3, let's see, we got cards right off the bat coming through. We have Freedom and also Farewell to the Moon. Let's maybe get one more card here. Okay, there we go. That was easy. There's a lot of energy in this group. My goodness. Energy field adjustment. Interesting. I'm definitely feeling a lot of energy for this group right off the bat. So group 3, there's a lot of energy happening for you. The cards were like flying out of the deck, barely needed to shuffle them. Spirit has a lot to say, and I'm also feeling very energized right now. And it's like much later in the evening, and somehow I'm feeling energized. So there's clearly a lot of energy going on for you in your love life. So before we get into what all of this is, let's go ahead and shuffle some tarot cards really quick to get some more info. So let's see, group 3. What is happening in group 3's love life in the future? Oh, we have Temperance. What's happening in the future of group 3's love life? 6 of Coins, Ace of Swords. Let's see, maybe 2 more cards here. Oh, that one really wants to come out. The Sun and 10 of Swords. Okay. All right, so group 3, here's what we have for you. So Temperance, 6 of Coins, Ace of Swords, the Sun, 10 of Swords, and then the 3 oracle cards that we have: Freedom, Energy Field Adjustment, and Farewell to the Moon. So starting off with the Temperance card, Temperance signifies moderation. So somehow moderation is coming into your love life, having more moderation on something. And this could be moderation on how much of yourself you always give away. You know, maybe we're really quick to give so much to somebody, to give everything to somebody. Maybe we're so quick to drop everything to be at somebody's beck and call. Maybe that's how we're used to being. And, you know, maybe that comes from an area of ourselves that wants to be a people pleaser, or maybe that comes from an area of ourselves where we're not giving ourselves enough fulfillment. Therefore, we're so quick to give everything to somebody else in hopes that we're going to find some sort of fulfillment and things like that. So temperance signifies more moderation, taking our time, not rushing into something, not, again, giving ourselves up so easily to where we lose who we are, or we end up draining ourselves. 10 of Swords, like, you know, some of you might be so willing to bend over backwards for somebody, or to sacrifice your own values for somebody, right? So one thing that's coming next in your love life is this idea that, like, hey, I want to like cool it a little bit and give myself more love. And that's what's going to be coming for you, because the Sun card is such a positive tarot card. In fact, it's one of the most positive in all of the tarot, other than like the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles, things like that. But the Sun is like such a positive card, and it brings light to any reading. And what I'm really seeing here is you starting to really stand up for yourself, and also starting to give yourself what you need. Because it's also, the Temperance is when we realize also that we cannot give from an empty cup, right? We need to give from a fulfilled place. When we're giving from an empty cup, there's literally nothing to give. People they're not seeing our value, because we're giving from a place of emptiness, which is almost from a place of also neediness, which I don't mean that to sound like the wrong way or anything, but when we're giving from a place of emptiness, we do it because we are lacking and we're wanting, and it might come from a place of also wanting for others, but it's stemming from a place of recognizing lack and feeling lack. And when we do that, it's from a place of also neediness, because we're needing to fill our own cup. So that's how the energy exchange ends up happening. I hope that makes sense. I might not be explaining that right, but hopefully that makes sense. But basically, what's happening in your love life is this realization that I can't keep giving from an empty cup, and I can't keep compromising myself and my desires and my wants to succumb to somebody else in order to people please, in order to make them happy, in order to, again, get breadcrumbs. This card actually also showed up for group number 1, which is really interesting. But this card, I use the example of like giving breadcrumbs or getting breadcrumbs, because you can see he's like dropping a little bit of coins, which isn't the normal like interpretation of this card, but for some reason that's what this card has been sort of revealing to me in these readings today. So again, if we don't have a full cup and we have this little cup, it's like we're giving away breadcrumbs, and we're not able to give very much, and we might, end up in a situation that we didn't want, because we didn't really have enough to fully give into that anyway. So when things kind of go wrong, it's sort of just like, it's almost defeat. It's like we reach defeat very easily when we don't have a full cup. So one of the things that I'm seeing for you, group number 3, is realizing like, hey, I need to fill up my own cup. That way I don't get defeated easily. And that way I don't give away all of my energy and feel depleted by other people and feel used by other people, or feel like I lose myself, because we're also losing ourselves. When we give away our last few drops in our cup, we lose ourselves. We lose our identity in service of others. So one thing that I'm really seeing for you is this new balance, because Temperance is all about balance, right? And also the 6 of Coins is about balance, because it has the scales here. So this is about balancing out where we spend our energy and how much energy we spend. Of course, you can spend so much energy on love, and if you want to have all the energy to spend on love, you can have that. But it requires us filling our cup first. It requires us having a full cup and showing up with a full cup. That way we can give the amount of energy that we actually want, rather than showing up with this sort of like empty cup and we're just like, we're seeking fulfillment. When we come from a place of seeking fulfillment, we'll never find it, because we can't expect somebody else to fill up our cup from their cup. We lose our identity that way. We lose ourselves. We need to fill our own cup. And what that means is you need to find your own happiness. And that's what I see you actually doing. Group number 3 is actually being able to find your own happiness, make your own happiness. Temperance makes your own happiness, right? Like this right here is not fulfilling. We're settling for breadcrumbs, and then breadcrumbs after breadcrumbs. It's like when we're starving, breadcrumbs are obviously not satisfying, and they'll never be satisfying. So your whole kind of cycle that you're going through right now is finally learning how to fill up your own cup so full that you come from a place of fulfillment. And when you do help others, it comes from a place of already being so fulfilled on your own. And that's when it will no longer come with neediness. It'll no longer come with expectation. It'll no longer come with losing ourselves and losing all of our energy on others. It will all of a sudden be balanced. And I know I kind of am repeating myself a little bit, but it's like trying to decode this message is like kind of coming out somewhat repetitively right now. But yeah, then we also have this Ace of Swords, which deals with a new mindset and having a very clear understanding of what it is we want. I think you're going to have so much more clarity. And the Ace of Swords is also when we start cutting out certain things in our life. So this could be us cutting out old behaviors, old belief systems, old mindsets, old perspectives. Even people, certain people maybe, are going to be cut out of our lives so that we can finally respect ourselves enough. The Ace of Swords can also be when we start new communication, a new way of communicating, or there's maybe a new communication channel opening with another person, for example. If we're single, this can talk about meeting people and communicating with them. If we're already in a relationship, maybe we're understanding better how to articulate ourselves, how to reach a level of understanding in our relationships. So where our communication isn't getting jumbled up and falling all over the place, all of a sudden it's kind of like our communication is getting better to where we are striving for understanding rather than, you know, getting into arguments and things like that and whatnot. So in your love life, I see communication taking on a new height. Communication getting so much better to where all of a sudden we feel like we can actually communicate our feelings and they're actually being understood. And we're able to understand others' feelings and their reasons for things. And we're able, it's just like so much more clarity is going to come out in your love life group number 3, so much more clarity. And the sun also talks about clarity as well, because it talks about being very authentic and open. Whereas the moon card is like when it's all hidden, we don't understand something, we're trying to navigate it, but there's no light, right? When we shed light on something, it's like things become clear. So you are all of a sudden going to become very clear. Your communication and what you desire to speak and what you desire to understand and the ability for others to understand you too is all of a sudden going to be so much clearer because we're realizing how to do that. I also think that you're going to be healing from a lot of old stuff that might be still weighing on you. The Ten of Swords reminds me of kind of like getting triggered by things or carrying a lot of weight or carrying a lot of pain from our past. And when we carry a lot of pain from our past that hasn't been healed, anytime that somebody obviously touches one of these swords, touches one of these wounds, says something wrong, it's obviously going to hurt very deeply because the swords are still there. But if we remove the swords, we remove the trigger and we allow ourselves to heal from that, all of a sudden when people touch that part of ourselves, it no longer hurts, it no longer triggers us, right? So I see you healing your triggers. I see you healing these parts of yourself where all of a sudden now communication is easy. All of a sudden, it's like somebody can grab the sword and communicate to us and it doesn't trigger. It doesn't trigger an argument. It doesn't trigger other things. It's like things are finally reaching a place of more clarity. And because of that, there's more freedom. And also because of the fact that we're not people pleasing anymore or settling for breadcrumbs or giving away our last couple drops from our cup, we're going to feel so much more free. We're going to feel so much more ourselves, no longer tied to other people, no longer tied to the outcome. Because when we're free, we're no longer expecting a certain outcome all the time. We're just like, you know, if that outcome happens, then like whatever. We have this freedom of this sovereignty to just be ourselves and not get wavered down or bogged down by somebody's lack of attention, right? Because, for example, in this card, this beggar relies on this guy to give him a small amount of coins. Like without that, he feels like he's nothing and he cannot survive, he cannot go on. So there might be part of ourselves that is needing validation, needing attention, but freedom comes when we don't need that. Freedom comes when this beggar is like, I can make my own. And freedom comes when you start making your own. You no longer rely on other people for validation. You no longer rely on other people to bring you satisfaction, to feel fulfilled. Because when we no longer rely on that, things get so much more free and so much more easy. I'm almost wondering if some of you guys were attracted to group number 1 just because it's a similar message. It is different, but it's like similar in this reading. I'm not gonna lie, it's like similar. So I'm curious if some of you were also attracted to that group. But anyway, it's like it seems like you got like this whole reading, this whole thing, there's been like kind of similar messages that sort of tie into each other, but anyway, that's besides the point. We also have energy field adjustment. So yes, it's like we are adjusting our own energy. Again, we're no longer relying on other people. We're no longer needing other people. We can desire other people and want to experience love and share that connection. That's totally different from needing somebody, right? So I think that you are going through this whole energy adjustment where we're no longer settling for less than what it is that we truly, truly, truly deserve. And we're no longer going to be reaching disappointment, because also another aspect of the Ten of Swords is like this disappointment energy where we feel like we've given something our everything, but then we get disappointed in the end. If we're fulfilled on our own and something doesn't work out, it's going to maybe disappoint us, but it's not going to cripple us. It's not going to put us in this place, because when we put all of our eggs in one basket, for example, when this beggar needs this guy, if this guy ever disappears, he feels like this. He's in a place where he feels completely crippled, like he cannot go on, because he relied on this guy because he wasn't making his own coins for himself. So once we start to build our own fulfillment, it's going to be easier to cut away and say no to the people in our lives that don't have our best interest in mind. It's going to be easier to say no to the people that don't fully align with us. But what we end up settling when we're in the beggar's position, when we're in his position, we'll end up settling for 1 coin, 2 coins, even though we know that we deserve more. We know that we also need more in order to live happily. But we'll settle for this if we're in his position. So this is about us going out and making our own happiness. And that way we're not going to end up in this position. Therefore, we're not going to need something. We're not going to need others' validations or approval anymore. Things like that. I hope this is making sense. So yeah, this is also gaining our mental health back, because again, we're no longer needing and relying. We're creating our own. And there's freedom and independence in that. You're creating your own independence. So group number 3, you're finding independence in love, which is going to be the best thing. And I promise this is going to be like the best thing that's ever happened to you. Other than, again, finding love after the fact. And, you know, some of you might already be in a relationship, and this relationship can continue and all that, but maybe we're just discovering our own independence and creating our own happiness. And this is going to allow for more love in your life, because when we create and we have a full cup, we're able to experience love from a place of having 2 full cups. And then when we have 2 full cups and we exchange energy, there's so much more energy being exchanged, which means that there's so much more love there, rather than exchanging for little bits of validations, little bits of coin. There's not that much love there. So when we fulfill ourselves, then we have so much to give, so much to exchange, so much to experience, so much love to feel. And that is when we feel the most love. But we have to fill our own cup first, otherwise we don't have that, right? So that's this energy field adjustment. This is this freedom and independence that you're creating for yourself. Then we also have farewell to the moon. So that's interesting that we have the sun and farewell to the moon. So it's like goodbye to the unknown, goodbye to like, you know, not knowing when we're going to get our next coin, when we're going to get our next meal, not knowing when we're going to get our next thing that we're desiring. All of a sudden it's going to be there all the time. It's the sun. It's there all the time, because we're the ones creating our happiness. And it's not meaning that you're not going to find love. You totally are. And this is absolutely valid and here. In fact, you'll find it so much easier. You'll be able to create it and experience it so much easier from a fulfilled place. And so what you're going to be doing over the next little while, which I think it's going to be the next 6 months for you. I'm getting 6 months from this. The coins can either be months or years. And that card to me is speaking months. So 6 months, within the next 6 months, you are building your own independence, building your own happiness, your own freedom, your own sovereignty, your own fulfillment. You are making your own fulfillment, and you're saying goodbye to the unknown and not knowing where I'm getting my next fulfillment next. I am making that for myself. And your life is about to get so much better, group number 3. So much freaking better. You're saying goodbye to an old cycle and saying hello to a brand new beginning that you've never experienced before, but it is the greatest dang experience that you've had because the light is shining. We're no longer walking under moonlight, not knowing where we're going. All of a sudden, things are going to become so much more clear. And when they become clear, this is when we understand our direction, we understand what we want, and we start to get what we want. This is the card of manifestation. Things are shining, things are vibrant, things are growing. This is a brand new beginning for us. It's a baby on a horse. They're enjoying their time. It's like our inner child can come back out. We're like laughing, we're enjoying life. We're no longer triggered by things. We're just feeling freaking good, okay? So things are about to change so much in a very, very, very positive way. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and shuffle some more cards on this. So group 3, what other information do we have for group 3 upon what is happening next in their love life? Look at that. We have the card of commitment. You cannot make this up. So what is coming next in your love life after this healing is commitment. Real commitment from someone. And I see this being a very equal commitment. Like this is such a beautiful card. This is commitment from 2 people that are extremely fulfilled on their own. And they have balanced give and take in their love life. It's balanced. Let's see what else we get here. Group 3, what else in group 3's love life? Coming to life. Yes, you are coming back to life. It is so hard to live life when you have 2 drops of water in your cup. You know what I mean? 2 drops of energy. You are going to be sprouting back to life. It's like a plant that hasn't been watered and it gets like a couple drops every day. You know, it's like, it's going to be not feeling too hot, not feeling too alive. It's almost like you finally learn how to take care of yourself. You finally learn how much water you need in order to feel fulfilled and satisfied and alive. And finally that you are getting that. And finally you're going to reach the commitment that you really, really deserve. Oh, and then we have education. You're going to be learning so much. I think you're going to have so much wisdom by the end of this too. You also might learn some of this through different books that you're reading, or I don't know, like something might come up like on either social media, something that you're going to read, something that you're going to see or hear is kind of going to almost inspire you about a certain direction or a new direction, or to kind of like make these certain changes, or you're going to get inspired by something. You might be learning something new that brings you so much fulfillment that you're all of a sudden going to have a lot of fulfillment. Yeah, I think you're going to get inspired by something new. The education card, you're going to get inspired by something new. And that's going to bring you a lot of fulfillment. And I think you're going to start to find your fulfillment on your own. And again, that's when this coming to life and finding of this person is going to like happen in your life. Okay, so with that being said, let's get some more cards. Group 3. What else do we have going on for group 3? I think you're letting go of regret. We got this regret card coming up. There might be a phase when you start letting go of the old stuff that you're like, oh, do I regret doing that? Do I regret that? There could be certain regrets that you might even be dealing with right now in your life. Like, oh my gosh, I regret this. You're not going to have those regrets anymore. Those are absolutely going to be healing, and it's worth it. One thing I'm hearing is it's worth it. And they didn't work out. It's not good to regret them. You know, maybe that's part of our learning right now. So it's like, it's just part of the journey right now. It's one of those stepping stones. But I can promise you right now, once you see what you actually do deserve, what you really, really deserve, you're not going to regret any of your past experiences, because they will have taught you, they will have educated you on this new growth. And this new growth is so essential to you actually coming alive. It's almost like a plant regretting, like, I don't know, like say plants could like plant themselves wherever they wanted, you know? And it's almost like the plant planted themselves somewhere where they weren't getting a lot of water, and they're like, shit, I chose wrong. What do I do? But it's like, it was part of the journey, and it was part of the stepping stone, and they've been like struggling. Maybe they regret where they planted themselves or whatever. It's literally part of the stepping stone, because this was part of your journey, and all of a sudden you're going to find your fulfillment, and you're going to realize, oh, hey, there's actually like a waterfall right down the way that I didn't recognize before. So it's like you going out and finding your own fulfillment instead of waiting, you know? I don't know, that was kind of not the right example, but hopefully you get the point. It's kind of like, don't regret it, because it was like part of the journey to bring you where you really, really, really needed to go. So don't regret. And you won't need to regret. You won't need to, because this is bringing you where you're meant to go. Okay? All right, let's see. Any last cards for group 3? Ooh, oh yes. Don't regret, because what is coming is true love, and it will make your heart sing, baby. Ah, yes. There will be no need to regret it, because true love is what is coming and what is on its way to you, my love group number 3. Some of you, again, if you're already in a relationship and you already have that commitment, I see a deeper commitment, more love coming out, and you coming to life as you find your own fulfillment outside of needing it from somebody else, right? When you find that fulfillment on your own, it is going to make you come back to life. If you are single right now, the way to find your person and your true love is going to be through finding your own fulfillment without seeking it through love. Then all of a sudden, you're going to find it so easily. You're going to find somebody who's also already fulfilled, that's not seeking and needing anything from you, right? You two just choose each other because you want to experience love together, right? So there's a huge difference there. So that is basically what we have for you. Group number 3, love is on its way, and it is going to get deep. So yeah, that's what we have here. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. I'm sending you guys so much love, and hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. All right, my beautiful group number 4s, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading. Also, just look at this beautiful celestite piece that you chose. This is just stunning, like one of my favorite pieces. It's so gorgeous. Anyway, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. All right, so group 4, let's see what we get for you. So group 4 is love life. We have the Oracle's Gifts and Quieting the Mind. And let's also go ahead and shuffle some of these tarot cards to get some more info. So group 4, oh my goodness, lots of cards here. All right, so group 4, we have the 10 of Pentacles, the 3 of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, lots of Pentacle cards, the Hermit, and then the 2 of Cups over here. One thing I'm seeing off the bat is a really big blessing coming into your love life. We have this card, the Oracle's Gift, and we also have this 10 of Pentacles, which is one of the best cards in tarot. In my opinion, like the 3 best cards, or maybe like 4 best cards, would be like 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, the Sun, and then the 9 of Cups. Those are all like super good cards. There's some other really good ones too, but like, I don't know. Like the 10 of Pentacles is very, very, very fulfilling, and it's generationally fulfilling. It's something where we're investing ourselves into something, or we're even receiving like a blessing or a gift. And then the 2 of Cups is also sort of like a blessing or a gift, especially when we're talking about like love life, right? So what I'm seeing for you is almost like there's been an energy where you've been manifesting something. Quieting the mind is making me think about meditation and listening to your thoughts, listening to your heart, and just thinking about, okay, what do I want to manifest in my future? What do I want to create for my future? And so I think that you've been sort of putting out there or making intentions on like, I want this and I want to experience this, and maybe even imagining it at times. Like maybe you're a daydreamer, because quieting the mind is making me think about daydreaming. So some of you have been like sort of, really just fantasizing about something. And because of that, it's almost like it's in creation mode. The Three of Pentacles is kind of like building something. It's almost like being an architect. And you can see this guy even has a hammer in his hand. Like, it's like you guys are building something, and you are, because you've been like thinking about it, you've been attracting the right circumstances and the right people to you to sort of like make this happen. And it's almost like your spirit team is with you right now. The Oracle's gift is making me think of like your spirit team, or like loved ones who've passed on the other side, that are like with you, that are cheering you on, that want to bring you happiness, and they're really aligned with whatever it is that you've been visualizing. Like they've been like giving their thumbs up for it. They're like, yes, manifest those good thoughts. Like it's something that you're thinking about that's like a good thought. It feels really good to you to think about it. And your spirit team is like, yes, that's the right track. Keep going in that direction. Of course, maybe there's certain thoughts that we have that are like not in alignment. Maybe sometimes we think negatively, blah, 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 blah. We all kind of are human, and we get that way. But spirit is like cheering on your good thoughts. Spirit is cheering on this like inner desire that you have, that I don't know how realized it is for you, but your spirit team is like giving you the thumbs up for that, for what it is that you've been sort of like desiring and like wanting and all that. The Ten of Pentacles symbolizes investing yourself into something. So there could be something in your love life where you're like, oh, I want to invest myself in that direction. I want to go in that direction. It could even be wanting to reach a big milestone, because the Ten of Pentacles can also be about reaching a particular milestone. It can be about having kids. It can be about really happy family. It can be about creating really good harmony, loyalty, because the dogs here symbolize loyalty. So maybe we've been wanting to attract a very loyal future in our love life. And that's something that's in store for you. That's something that's like, it's coming your way because you've been thinking about it. You've been aligning to that energy. Therefore, more foundation is being set here. You're investing your energy into loyalty, into honesty, into commitment, into family, into like a stable future for yourself. And that's what's being designed in your life. Like you're literally becoming the designer of your life right now. We also have the Queen of Pentacles, which talks about wanting to nurture something. So maybe we've been like ultra focused on our career. Some of you might have been very focused on your career just because we start off with a lot of Pentacle cards, and sometimes that can symbolize that we've been very focused on our career. Although when the Queen of Pentacles comes in, as well as like the Ten of Pentacles as well, both of them kind of symbolize love and nurturing. So part of us, we've had this side coming out of us that wants to be loving and nurturing. Whether you're a male or a female, it doesn't matter. But there's a side of you where your nurturing side is coming out. You're wanting to really care for something. You're wanting to nurture it to allow it to grow, right? The Queen of Pentacles is a woman who like even grows a garden because she's like, outside of work, I also want to like nurture these things. And she also has a family that she's like, I want to make them healthy. I want to like make it the best it can be. And so there's definitely this side of you that's coming out that really wants to like put your best foot forward and wants to create a lot of harmony and wants to be the best you can be so that you can create the best world for yourself and for your love life. We also have the Hermit card, which kind of symbolizes that maybe we've had some of these ideas that are like, oh, that's a nice idea, but it might be just a thought that we're like, I don't know if that'll ever happen though. I don't know if I'll ever get to like that much happiness. I don't know if I'll ever achieve that. Or maybe we have our doubts on love or something. The Hermit is like, maybe we've been like concealing this a little bit, but we're also sort of like really hoping for it. And we're trying to find the path. because the hermit kind of goes into himself. He goes inwards to find out what he really wants and to how to illuminate that part. How do I actually do that, right? So part of you has been discovering, and you're on this like self-discovery journey, and you're seeing new parts of yourself. New parts of yourself are awakening. I think that some of you listening to this, I honestly feel like some of you guys listening to this are like, I don't want a family. I don't know if I want to get married. I don't know if I want this. I don't know if I want that. Some of you are saying that while listening to this, but the hermit indicates that in the future, you're going to be going deeper within yourself and illuminating parts of yourself that you didn't even know existed. You didn't even know that there was a nurturing part of you that really wanted a family so badly. This is going to start coming out. I think that you're going to start wanting deeper love, deeper romance, deeper family things in your future, because you're going to be realizing that you do want that deep down inside. Quieting the mind and hermit are really similar, because it's like we're going within ourselves. We're quieting our normal mind chatter, because maybe we've been like conditioned by society, or maybe we've been conditioned by our past experiences. And maybe we started doubting, like, am I gonna have a family? I don't know. Like, I guess maybe, I don't know. Or like, are we ever gonna find love again? I don't know. Like, there's certain things that I think that are unrealized desires that are gonna start coming out. And they might have even started coming out recently for you, but maybe they just haven't come to their full fruition quite yet. But they're going to come to their full fruition. All of a sudden there's gonna be desires for like loyalty, generational, like family, which is about having kids and things like that. So I think a next step in your love life is going to be this desire for deeper love and deeper romance in your life, however that might look. Like, I'm not saying kids are absolutely gonna happen for like all of you. Maybe some of you guys are even past that point. Maybe some of you guys, that's like way too early to think about that. But either way, you're gonna be awakening these deeper parts of yourself that are going to want deeper connection, more romance, the next step, other things like that. They're gonna start illuminating out of nowhere. It's kind of like you had this like part of yourself that was never activated before. You're gonna have new parts of yourself activated in the coming future. Group number 4. There's new parts of yourself that are getting activated that are going to deeply desire deep connection, generational connection, loyalty, commitment, nurture. You're going to desire to be nurtured, and you're going to desire to also nurture. There is new parts of yourself that are getting illuminated. I know I said that like so many times already, but Spirit's like, just say it again. Just say it again. There's new parts of yourself that are being realized. New desires that you've probably maybe even never had before, or they've been shut down for a long time. They're still there. And they're getting activated, and we are going to start going towards more of this in our life, and more of this. Even if some of you are in a relationship right now, you might realize that you have more desires with this person than you probably thought. All of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, I know I said that I didn't want kids. Or like, oh, wait a minute, I know I said I didn't want to get married, but like, wait a minute, I do. You know, like that's sort of the storyline that we have going on over here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and add some more cards onto this reading. Let's take these ones. So group 4, what else is happening for group 4? Free yourself. Oh yeah, so where once we kept ourselves caged and closed off, you are freeing yourself from those old cages that you kept yourself in. Let's see what else. You deserve, this one's been coming up for everybody. This is a message for everybody lately, is you deserve love. And you do. Group 4, you deserve love. So don't close yourself off from it thinking like, oh, I can live my life without it. I'm better off without it. That might be like a scar from the past or a fear from past experience, but like, you deserve love. Everyone deserves love. Love is the greatest feeling in the world. I think everyone can agree. Love is the greatest feeling in the world. And there's, of course, things like self-love and things like that that are also important, but sharing love is a great feeling, and you are awakening within yourself deeper desires for love that you didn't even know were there. So, oh, and then look at that. Here's confirmation for you, group 4. It is safe for you to love. What confirmation for you? It is safe for you to love. Don't be scared of it. Maybe we shut ourselves off out of fear. Maybe we shut ourselves off out of like, again, maybe what we've experienced from the past. Like maybe we didn't want to have kids because our parents have been divorced and things. Maybe we didn't want to get married because of that. We've had certain scars from that or whatever. It is safe for you to love. You deserve love. It's time to free yourself from these restrictions and these restraints of like, oh, I can't have that because that doesn't exist. And that's hard to find. And like, that doesn't exist for me. I won't be able to find that. No, those are stories. Those are limiting beliefs. That is a limiting belief. You are freeing yourself from limiting beliefs in the future. And you are going to start to actually desire what you really deserve. And you deserve love. You deserve it deeper than what you previously thought. Okay, so let's see what else we get for you. Group 4. These are some beautiful messages from Spirit. Let's see, group 4. What else do we have for group 4? We have friendship. Love is also a beautiful friendship. Kids are a beautiful friendship. Love is beautiful companionship. It's like a friendship that goes deeper than any other friendship, right? Goes really deep. You love yourself or you love your partner in like a way that you cannot love other friends, right? Let's see what else we get. What is in the future? Support, like, yes. I see you becoming like best friends with somebody that you love. And it's not friend zoning. It's just like, we're actually finding love. Like real love, real support, real companionship, where we're not running from it, or we're not scared of it, or we're not scared to get deep, we're not hiding our feelings, we're not shutting ourselves down. We're open to being a supportive partner for somebody and also accepting that from somebody. Because that's like a beautiful thing, right? See what else we get. Ooh, there's a card that fell on the floor. The card that fell on the floor, I can actually see it. It's Deep Freeze. I'm not going to go pick it up right now because that's going to take like way too much time because I'm like mic'd up right now and I have this like huge mic on me. But yeah, the Deep Freeze card, I think you're thawing out because it's actually reversed on the floor. So this talks about thawing out your emotions. All of a sudden, we're not freezing ourselves anymore. We're not keeping our truest desires frozen and unrealized. Like you might not even realize you have certain desires in love because they've been like frozen, bottled up. We just already told ourselves no a long time ago. They are thawing out. You're gonna start to realize you have so much more there. We also have Magical Map Shifter. You are shifting your life. This is a sign that you are going to be shifting your life. This is kind of like the Magician card in tarot, where it symbolizes that we can like do and create anything right now, which at any time you have that ability. But you're finally realizing like, hey, I don't have to limit myself by these limiting beliefs that say that like, oh, love is hard, or I can't find something beautiful, or I don't want love because blah, blah, blah. We don't have certain stories that we tell ourselves. So I think you're going to start to realize and break out of those old stories and realize like, hey, love is actually really beautiful and I think I do want that. So yeah, all of a sudden you're shifting your life and you're going to be like, okay, let me move some things around because I think that this is actually a good thing and I can open up my heart and I don't have to like live my life closed off and things like that. Let's see. Any last cards for group 4? Okay. Unexpected visitors. Ooh. So this is when we get, I think as you start to open yourself up, you're going to find love in the most unexpected places. And you're going to find new love. And this is also unexpected. Unexpected visitors also reminds me of you opening up a door within yourself and all of a sudden these unexpected desires come out. And it's like, oh. And this can also be unexpected people coming into our lives in a good way. Like in a way of like, they want to love us. They want certain things that maybe we didn't realize that we wanted, but all of a sudden we're like, oh, okay, I actually do want that. Ooh. So tons of shifts coming. tons of shifts. With that being said, let's go ahead and maybe get one last card here. I don't know what deck. I think I want it from this deck. Let's get one last card. There we go. We have Into the Unknown. Yes. Okay, so group 4. In your future, you're going to actually take a leap of faith in love, which I think is different for you. Like maybe you've I don't know to what degree that you've been maybe closed off in certain areas, but there's certain areas that are opening up where we have deeper desires. And all of a sudden we're like, you know what? I want to navigate that. I want to actually discover that. I'm going to start to move in that direction and uncover these desires that I didn't realize that I had. I'm going to explore them. I think you're going to start exploring desires that you didn't really realize were there. And it's going to be really exciting, to say the least. It's going to be very exciting. And it's interesting that you guys chose the celestite, because celestite is a crystal of calmness and clarity. And it sort of allows things to start moving. It's very connected to water, since it is blue. It's very connected to the movement of water. And when we're frozen, kind of like the deep freeze card that fell on the floor, when we're frozen like that, obviously there's things that are unrealized and we're not moving forward in certain areas. So there's certain parts of your love life that were maybe frozen and not moving forward because we were closed off emotionally. But celestite helps us move forward because it helps us have that flow back. It helps us unfreeze, and it helps us have clarity. So I think that you are unfreezing certain parts of yourself, so it's no wonder that you're attracted to selenite or celestite, because your soul wants to unfreeze right now. Your soul wants that movement again, and it wants these inner desires to be realized and not kept on frozen. So that is what we have here for you, group number 4. I know that was a bit of a quicker reading for this one, but that's basically what we have here. That's what's happening next in your love life, is realizing that you actually have deeper desires than you previously knew. So yeah, and you might even be realizing that some of those are coming out already. And I think you're going to be manifesting these new desires into your life once you realize them, because it's finally oh, we desire to explore them. We have the 2 of Cups here. This is union with those desires. All of a sudden, we're attracting the person, we're attracting the situation, we're attracting the circumstance to us to allow us to actualize those desires that we didn't realize that we truly had. So that is what we have here for you, group number 4. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one.